What are the most significant gaps you are currently seeing in the climate justice and clean energy transition space that need to be addressed urgently? Is it funding, access, education, or something else?
I would say funding is one I've been seeing a lot of people talking about lately, especially now that a lot of programs have been cut from federal funding. Funding is so important because if we are talking about supporting nonprofits who rely on funding, or we're talking about supporting activists or creatives or storytellers who don't necessarily have the kind of job, like 9 to 5 job that we expect them to have, but they're still doing important work. Well, they need to do that work and also be able to pay their bills to sustain themselves. So it's tricky because I've seen a lot of activists talk about how they want to become a full-time activist, but they just can't financially do so because their activism isn't seen as a job in this Western capitalist society. And so when we talk about funding, being able to fund an individual or an organization can make all the difference between whether that work gets done or not. And of course, those are the kind of things that we want to be funding. Whereas a lot of the money right now is going to either very popular, huge environmental organizations that are great, but maybe they're not promoting the different solutions that we want to see now. For example, ones that are huge and have been here for a while may be perpetuating certain ideologies that they started when they were formed 100 years ago that we just don't, the new generations just don't resonate with anymore. And we want to fund more grassroots, more locally led solutions and organizations. But those aren't getting the funding as much, either because they don't have a great, robust development team like the larger organizations, or they just don't have the connections that those organizations have. And so that lack of funding can really, I mean, unfortunately, it can also cause startups and clean energy startups to close down. So the more that you can support the smaller organizations that are doing the work but don't necessarily have the many resources that others do, I think the more work will get done.